Worthiness. Whether or not we are enough. This topic comes up quite often in these videos, but it comes up because it is such a vital and critical point that inspires so many of the other areas that I hear people talking about and looking for in their lives, myself included. Feeling confident, feeling at ease with ourselves, feeling like our mind isn't going to take over and completely make us go insane, feeling like we trust ourselves to be able to move and take action without constantly second-guessing ourselves. All of these areas are things that we come across all the time, and they are rooted, fully or in part, in our view of our self-worth, of whether or not we are worthy of love and acceptance. There are 3 stories that I see come up again and again around this topic, and I want to just shed a little bit of light on them, touch on them briefly, and I'm curious whether or not you feel some resonance as you hear some of these stories. The first is this story of accumulated worth, meaning whether or not very consciously or very subconsciously, we have an internal point system, and we are trying to rack up enough points with our boss to be worthy of respect. We're trying to rack up enough points with our partner to be worthy of love and appreciation. We're trying to rack up enough points with the public, whoever that might be, in order to feel admired. Now, there's a counterpart to the accumulated worth, and it's the idea of inherent worth, meaning outside of any point system, because I exist, because I am a human being, and this also applies for nature, I am worthy of love and acceptance. Now, I have plenty of opportunities for actions that have consequences, both positive and not so positive, whatever my definition of that is. But that those actions are not that tie to my worthiness of existing here. They're just about how much I'm enjoying life and how much I'm actually creating the life that I want instead of feeling like a victim to it. So there are 2 questions to figure out whether or not this idea of accumulated worth is something that's actually working and it's a valid story. First is to ask yourself, when will I reach enoughness? What points, what evidence do I have to when I recognize that I am enough? That I can stop second-guessing myself and feeling like I'm inferior as compared to the rest of the world. And second, if you can actually figure out that place and you don't realize that it's actually just a constantly shifting goal, how do I stay enough? Once I reach that point system, am I good for the rest of my life? Or is it a constantly uphill battle? Am I constantly rolling the stone up the hill with no break? This is what's behind accumulated worth. The idea that I will never be enough without my actions. It's a story that can be exceptionally exhausting. The second story that I keep hearing again and again, and I also see in my own life, is this idea of, I am a realist. I see things how they are. All right, realist. When you get a compliment or something that is actually an affirmation, but it's from a friend, do you disregard it? Because, she loves me, she likes me a lot. She's just trying to be nice. Or if it comes from a mother, our mothers have to say nice things about us. That doesn't count. Or if our boss gives us a compliment. He's just in a good mood. The sun is shining. This is not balanced skepticism. This is something we call confirmation bias. And it is imbalanced. Because it means that in our definition of worthiness, if we have that idea of accumulated worth, in this case, even when points come in to try and validate us, we're the realist that wants to be, let's call it, holding a false sense of humility. No, if I take that in, then I'll be seen as arrogant. Or I might feel arrogance, and I can't have that. So actually, I keep my self-worth low in order to ensure that I stay humble. In order to ensure, and this is a really tricky one, that I keep working hard. Because if I feel like I'm worthy enough, then I'll just let it all go. I would like to call BS on this. Because actually, so many times we have the idea that I have accomplished all of the things that I've accomplished in life because of this desire for more worthiness. What if you've accomplished everything in your life that you have up to this point in spite of that? And what happens is, if our worth is not tied to our actions, how much more freedom would we give ourselves to take a little bit of a risk, to experiment, to get playful, to explore? The third is the topic of reality distortion. And I have a great example of this. I was moving to a new city and I wanted to work for this particular company. And so I put together my CV and I was all ready, and so I submitted it on their online portal. And then a colleague of mine in the current city that I was still working in said, no, I know some folks that work there. I think they would love to have you work there. Give me your CV and I'll put it on their desks. The next week I get 2 emails. The first, Dear Miss Roberts, thank you very much for submitting your CV. We regret to inform you that at this time we don't have any jobs available. We're also not certain that it's the right fit between your skills and experience and what we would look for inside of the company. But we thank you for your time and attention and for your excitement in applying for this position. We wish you a lovely day. Crushed. Right? Like, that sucked. But then I open up the second email. Dear Miss Roberts, thank you so much for submitting your CV. We are thrilled at the potential of finding a way to work together. We see in your cover letter that you mentioned that you will be in town next week. Would it be possible to set up an interview for Monday morning? Currently, we don't have any positions available, but we believe that there's so much potential here that we would be willing to explore options of creating a role until another position or opportunity arises. Thank you so much, and please let us know your response at your earliest convenience. Boosh. Reality distortion, 100%. Except for the fact that very rarely do we get the opportunity to see the distortion that clearly. Simply because of the way that my CV was submitted. If it was submitted directly to someone's desk versus the online portal, completely opposite version of reality. I ended up working for that company for a number of years, and they did actually create a position for me. But if I had only received that first email, I can tell you my self-worth took a hit even just reading it. Because I thought, fine that they don't have any positions, but they say I'm not the right fit. What does that mean? What would the right fit look like? And the whole spiral of thoughts already started as to whether or not I would be worthy to work at a company like that. So the next time that you're feeling a bit taken by life, feeling a bit at the mercy of what's happening all around you and what feedback you're getting or not getting, take a look at these 3 questions and take a look at your point of where you're getting your self-worth. Is it from the outside, crazy, unpredictable world? Or is there certain stability within yourself that you know that you are worthy of love and acceptance and that you are worthy to be here